Billy, I feel like we could ask you the same things that we did after the Lakers game. You obviously played very well, and it's a one-possession game. What did you think of Zach's shot there, and how difficult is this in the context of how well you guys are playing?
Well, I mean, I think we are playing well. I mean, we're doing a lot of really good things. I've seen an enormous amount of growth in these guys. But like to take the next step, we have to learn how to win. And before you learn how to win, you have to learn, what forces you to lose or causes you to lose games. And for us, it's been a lot of things I believe we have control over. It is very, very difficult to win turning the ball over 21 times against an elite offensive team with scorers like Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, Lou Williams, and the guys they have, Morris. You can't. It's almost impossible. And I give our guys credit. I think it speaks to how efficient they were on offense that we could even be in the game. The other thing, too, is I thought we were fairly good not fouling in the first half, and we fouled entirely too much in the second half, gave them 25 free throws, pretty significant free throw differential. The same thing happened in the Laker game, where we fouled too much. And then the third thing at times has been the rebounding. Those are inevitably things that get you beat. And I think that we have control over, how well, we can defend without fouling. I think we have control over taking care of the basketball and making good decisions with it, and understanding the importance of valuing the ball. And then I think that we could do. I thought Zubac in the first half really hurt us in the offensive glass, and he got some offensive rebounds. So, again, we're playing like you take those things out, like we're playing good basketball, like in terms of possessions and stuff. But we're shooting ourselves in the foot too much with a lot of things that I think we can do a much better job with.
I think just watching this team, it doesn't seem like the type of team that will have difficulty with this. But do you have a concern as a coach at all about a young team playing this well and then not getting the result you want at the end of the night?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're all gonna have to dig ourselves out of this. I do think that losing, can become kind of habitual and it can become a habit. And this is a young group that has not seen a lot of team success in this league. And they're going to be the ones that are going to have to turn it. And obviously we as coaches are a part of it too. And we've got to help, and we've all got to help. And we've all got to help each other, and we got to all pull together, and it's got to be everyone. But I'm, again, this is a strange time, playing the game with what's going on. But I do think that this is a group with great character. It's a really good working group. I believe they want to get better. I believe they want to improve. But they've got to get to a point where, they understand very, very clearly the things that go into winning at the highest level and the things that you have to do to win. And if you don't do those things well enough, you're going to get the same results. I've said this before. If you take teams, let's just say, with the 6th or 7th best record in the league last year, and you go down to the 25th or 28th team with the 28th best record, you're generally going to see a point differential, of about a -3 or 4. That's how small the margins are. And for us, as well as we've played, if we can clean up the turnovers and the fouling and the rebounding, we're going to put ourselves in a better position to win games. Right now, there's a difference, I think, between, like you can lose a game where, you beat yourself. And I think in a lot of ways we beat ourselves, and we've got to get better of not doing that and understanding the stuff that's going to get us beat.
Thanks, Billy.
You're welcome.
Joe, go ahead with that next question.
Billy, Zach's had an unbelievable West Coast trip here, especially the last 2 games in LA. At the same time, though, at the end of the game, he's had that ball in his hand and a chance to, play hero. How do you explain to him, yes, I understand you have the hot hand, and yes, you are our best scorer, but at the same time, maybe there's better options? Or do you just teach it or tell him, hey, keep shooting it and learn how to win?
Yeah, I think it's a great question, Joe. I said, I think even before the season started, when I first got hired, it can't all be on his shoulders to kind of carry us home. I thought 2 things. One, on the side of the bounds, I think we were down by maybe, I don't know what it was, maybe we were 5 or 4, and we ran him a screen up at the top. It was actually it was a catch and shoot screening action. I actually thought he had a better look than the one when he put it on the floor and shot it. And he said he just kind of was trying to get in the rhythm, because I said to him, I said, Zach, you were open when you caught it. And he said, yeah, but I really wasn't in rhythm, and that dribble helped me get in rhythm. It was fine. I think we needed to help him a little bit more on that last play, the shot that he took that when we were down by 3. I totally agree with that. That was not a good position. I was out of timeouts. I thought the guys did a pretty good job coming out of timeouts, doing what we asked them to do. The one thing we had talked about doing was trying to get up there and get a flat pick and roll in the middle of the floor to give him some space. I don't know if we really generated that. I didn't see the film, Joe, but I think we kind of he was put into a tough situation on that last shot. But to your point, down by 3, he can go get it when he can. And maybe, if he drives it to the basket, they're not going to help him pull off of anybody. But I think we needed to help him a little bit more on the very last shot down 3 with whatever it was, 11.7 seconds.
Are moments like that what is the difference between very good and elite? I mean, learning that and learning how to finish games and the decisions to make late in games?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I think Zach has done a really nice job, making some decisions. I really thought, Joe, even in the, the Laker game, I thought he really created some space and got a good shot for himself that he made. I thought the shot that he got in Portland was a tougher shot than the one that he had against the Lakers, So, again, the one thing that's great, with him is he has the ability to get a shot off. And sometimes when you're dealing with Kawhi and Paul George and great length, that could be a feat in itself. I thought that he got a good shot off when we were down there with whatever it was, I don't know, 15, 18 seconds when he made that basket and cut the lead. And then we had a foul. I think he cut it to 1. But the last one, we got to help him a little bit more, in terms of freeing him. Now, once he's freed, then I think he's got to make good decisions, to your point, and he's got to generate something good. We were out of timeouts, and we tried to, I knew they were going to pick him up full court. We tried to kind of get a flat screen in the middle of the floor. I didn't think that we did as good of a job as we needed to on that.
Thanks, Billy.
Thank you.
Darnell, go ahead with the next question, please.
Thanks, Matt. Billy, I had 2. The first, real quick, I just wanted to know what you got from the officials on that overturned call on Kawhi against Patrick Williams underneath the basket.
Well, my argument on the call was that there was no conclusive evidence that he didn't foul him. And they said that, that they did not think watching it that he did foul him. I don't know how you can make that assessment when a guy's reaching over a guy's back like that, and they are not even talking about body contact, but they're talking about his hand hitting the ball. So that was the interpretation I got from them. Obviously, I did not agree with it. Generally, when there's, usually when you go to replay, you can see. I mean, I'm watching it. I did not agree with it. I thought the way he was reaching over his back, whether or not his hand hit the ball or hit his hand, or whether his hand did or did not foul him, he was over the guy's back, in my opinion. Now, maybe they deemed that as not a foul. Okay, then it's not a foul, but. I did not agree with how they internalized or how they reviewed the tape and the conclusion they came on that. That's just me, but I'm probably wrong in that.
And then the second thing for me is you mentioned a lot about the self-inflicted mistakes, but the 3 that you guys had in the final 3 minutes, the offensive rebound by Morris that led to the 3-pointer by Batum, the 4-point play when I think it was Thad who fouled him. And then for Kobe to come down and turn it over, leading to that fast break layup by Lou Williams. What went wrong in that sequence, do you feel? What did you see?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, we're playing from behind, and, in a lot of ways, we're dead in the water. I give our guys a lot of credit for fighting their way back and at least having the ball to tie the game, with whatever it was, 11 seconds, 12 seconds. I think in the middle of the floor, we tried to get Lou Williams in a middle pick and roll with Kobe, just coming down in transition. And, Lou Williams jumped out there and kind of went after the ball and poked it away. And, again, that's one of those things we've got to do a better job of taking care of the basketball. And I think on Thad's close out there, I think he was trying to close. I don't know if his momentum kind of carried him into Batum, but, it was a tough play. I mean, those are 2 self-inflicting plays. It's kind of the same thing with the I forget who we hit across the head there in Sacramento, Buddy Hield. I mean, it's 4 points. and it's hard to overcome that. Then you couple that with the turnovers. It's just hard to overcome it. And but our guys are competing and battling. I give our guys, like I said, early in the year, they would hang their head and they would get frustrated and they wouldn't want to compete and battle. And they're fighting back. And I give them credit for not showing when he quit, because that steal by Lou Williams and that layup being down by 5, it can kind of take your spirit away, and it didn't. Our guys were really good in the huddles, but those are some of the self-inflicting things that I think we can control and do a better job on.
Gotcha. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Rob, go ahead. You got the next one.
Hey, Billy, you might have just answered this a little bit, and obviously you've talked about stuff to improve on from this game specifically, but I'm wondering, just kind of as you reflect on the West Coast trip in general, what have you learned about this team over the last week?
Well, it's hard for me, I think, for anybody, and even the guys, it's a lot of times you can get totally wrapped up in the result of did you win or did you lose? And I think we have to look at, are we getting better and are we improving? Obviously Anthony Davis did not play last game. We've obviously had some guys out too. The Clippers were full strength. Portland was full strength. Sacramento lost Fox midway through the maybe first quarter. So I feel like we've played good teams. That's a pretty good barometer of where you're at. And we've done a lot of good things. I think we've made a lot of strides offensively in terms of I think guys are a little bit more comfortable, we're a little bit more fluid, we're a little bit more cohesive. Obviously the turnovers is a major factor, a major problem. I think defensively, I think we as coaches need to keep helping them with different schemes and different coverages, because there's times where we have, challenging matchups. I think our guys endured a lot of minutes over this trip because of, Otto being out, basically last game and this game, shortened numbers. The guys have done a great job battling and competing and fighting. I don't personally love the number of minutes that Kobe and Zach are getting, but we're kind of dealt with that hand at this point in time. I think we have a lot to build off of, but we're going to have to make the strides. We've made really good strides in terms of execution on both ends of the floor. We've done a good job there, but we're going to have to become a consistent team that takes care of the basketball, that defends without fouling, and rebounds. If we can't do those 3 things on a regular nightly basis, it's really, really hard to win. And we're going to have to be able to do a better job of that. Now, the one thing I feel like we've done the last couple games is we've shot high percentage we shot a high percentage from the field and from 3, but I think it's because we really have moved the basketball. And I think we've done a good job. The Sacramento game, that back-to-back was a tough one. Physically, but we've done a good job of moving the ball and playing off of each other a lot better than we did, I think, maybe those first 2 or 3 games. And I could see us starting to play a little bit better at Washington in those 2 games. So we've made some strides, but we got to do things that are going to be. Listen, I don't know what we scored. 128 points, was it? Maybe we scored 128 points on 21 turnovers. So and again, we got to get better defensively as well. We've given up way too many points the last couple of games. So I think there's a lot of things we got to improve upon, but I also think we've made some progress and we've made some growth as a team.